When I hear people say, oh, the NBA is boring, I go, you're watching the same teams. Because if you put on the Detroit Pistons right now.
Oh, stop it. They're boring too.
No.
Bro, 4 games under 500.
They've won 7 in a row.
Whoopee freaking do.
And I don't think they're 4 games under 500.
All right, what are they?
I'm going to look it up right now. And if you're right, I'm going to be pissed. They're 6 games over 500. They've won 7 in a row. Cade Cunningham is balling.
You want to brag about a team that's 32 and 26?
Oh, you see how he moved the goalposts?
Yeah, stop it.
They were 10 games better than he thought.
That's not success.
They need to be 70-4.
40-20. We talked about it.
So we can only talk about 3 teams?
Bro, the Detroit Pistons ain't winning enough championships. Stop it.
Well, no. But you want to know what the odds are if they did?
2-2. What it do is your boy Benji, and we are back balling.
Tell your mans to chill. Yo, who mans is this? Somebody come get this.
So, of course, we just watched Shaq, NBA legend, current NBA media member, and a guy with actually a podcast, a big podcast with Shaq. Talk about the Detroit Pistons. Completely oblivious to what's going on in Detroit. And yeah, sure. Is this team the best team in the Eastern Conference? No. But let's look at it. This is a team that is currently in 6th place in the Eastern Conference. And if you look very, 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 very closely, probably a game or so behind the Pacers and the Bucks. So realistically speaking, if the Bucks and Pacers lose a game and the Pistons win one, Pistons can slide right up to 4th place in the Eastern Conference. And why is this significant? Are they the Cavs? Are they the Celtics? No. Are they Oklahoma City Thunder? No. Why is this important? The Pistons were the worst team in the Eastern Conference. But it doesn't stop right there. They were actually the worst team in the NBA last year. So, in one season, they have transformed themselves and are currently sitting in 6th place in the Eastern Conference, and with the potential to make a deep playoff run. Now, they do have a lot of young guys on that team, so it's going to be interesting to see a lot of these kids, first time in the playoffs, how they're going to act, how they're going to respond. Who knows? But at the end of the day, they come with a lot of fight, and I think that at the very least, we should applaud the fact that they made it this far. This is a team that's sitting comfortably in the playoff races. And they were the worst team in the NBA last season. So now with, huge free agent moves, no superstars heading over there, and just building up around a lot of the guys in the draft and snatching a couple guys that are free agents over the offseason, and really just putting emphasis this year on toughness of defense and their intensity, they've completely transformed what we thought we had out there. I mean, there's little shooters out there as well. The guys knocking down shots at the perimeter, but they're competing. And there's actually a little bit of a show out there, man. Cade Cunningham was an all-star point guard this season. So, people paying attention.
Anybody that can consistently play at their own pace and put up numbers is a great player. I like the way he's doing. Those guys play hard.
Pay attention.
Great player. I like the way he's playing. I like what Chauncey's doing. Those guys play hard. Put up numbers. It's a great player. I like the way he's playing. I like what Chauncey's doing. Those guys play hard. My favorite.
Wait a minute.
You like who's doing it? You said Chauncey?
Chauncey's the coach, right?
Okay.
Portland. No. Chauncey, he coaches.
I was like, I can't let this go.
JB Bickerstaff.
Bickerstaff, that's what I mean. You know, first of all, I don't watch Detroit. How about that, boo-boo?
Not only does dude openly admit he has no idea who the coach is, sure, slips our minds, no problem. But completely inflated Chauncey Billups with JB Bickerstaff. What in the world? And then compounded upon that by saying that he doesn't even watch the Pistons. Bro, this is a post-game show where they're highlighting the Wizards and the Detroit Pistons. NBA on TNT. And you have your media member, Hall of Famer, all-time legend, five-ring Shaq, up there talking about how he doesn't even watch the team that you're highlighting. The team that has the greatest surge that we've seen in a while, going from the bottom of the league, the absolute worst position, last place team in the NBA last year, to making a legitimate playoff run, potentially, this year. All-star point guard. This guy just said that on the show. Additionally, he did talk about how Isaiah Stewart is one of his favorite players because he's hard body, plays hard, he doesn't take no smack, and he's ready to fight. Essentially, that's what the rhetoric has been around Shaq. And Legend of Winning highlighted this. Shaq does not know who coaches the Pistons, and players don't relate to him if they're compared to 90s players. Only admit he doesn't watch Detroit after he called them boring. And the Pistons is one of the best stories in the NBA, and this is how they're being discussed. Again, like I said, there's been a lot of positives this year for Detroit. When this time a year ago, they were filled with only negatives. Remember the "Don't be that team" tweets? And, of course, people having debates about it in the comments. Somebody said, we were tied with the worst record in a season of all time last year. Season we got rid of our coach, GM, and remodeled the team, and now we are above 500. So it was one of the best ever stories in the NBA. Valid point here. Katie was right. Y'all do not like basketball. I mean, we saw a similar situation not long ago. Zion Williamson had a sensational game to lead the Pelicans to a 127-120 victory, tallying 22 points, 10 rebounds, 12 assists, and shot 8-13 for the field, 66 from the free throw line against the Clippers. And, of course, what did Shaq do instead of heaping praise? He decided to let us know that there was no props going to come Zion's way. You're giving him props for that? O'Neal said, I need more. Anybody can get 20 points an ounce. That's not good enough. I'm not impressed by that. Sure, is Zion Williamson a player that was marketed as a potentially generational player? Sure. But, again, this is 22, 10, and 12. I mean, again, this is another case of the OGs hating on the current guys. I mean, this is not new information to Shaq either. We've seen him talk about Rudy Gobert being one of the worst players in the NBA. And talking about how he feels like he's egregiously overpaid. And continues to highlight his distaste for a lot of guys. He's still going at it with Dwight Howard about the Superman thing. Brother, sometimes in life, you just got to be able to give it up. You did what you did on the court. And, I mean, that was good enough for a lot of people. Unfortunately, it doesn't recommend. A lot of people don't perceive you as being the best player of all time. But that's all right. A lot of people believe that you're one of the most dominant ever do it. You did what you did. You had some great seasons. You made a lot of money, and you're currently making a lot of money. But there's got to be some, like, we've got to be able to pass the torch a little bit. All right, cool. You can be hard on these guys, but like we have to cover the game like with some type of sense here. At the end of the day, like I said, it's like Katie was saying. Y'all do not like basketball. We can appreciate the game, but you don't have to completely defecate on everybody that comes through. In the span of 24 hours, Shaq called the Detroit Pistons boring and discredited Zion Williamson's triple-double. NBA meteor in the gutter, somebody stated. If Bobo put up the same Zion stat line, Shaq called him the MVP, a poster added. Referencing how O'Neal has praised the Phoenix Suns big man in the past. Why? Because he is good friends with his son. You can have critiques about a lot of these players, but unfortunately, you are a platform. You're on a platform. You are a player with a huge platform and multiple platforms at that. And you're helping fuel certain narratives and push certain narratives about certain guys that, end of the day, are probably affecting some dollars. Not only for the players in particular, because let's just say, for example, you're one of the guys talking about how the Detroit Pistons is not good basketball and you're not paying attention to them. Yo, Kay Cunningham, it was like a last-second NBA All-Star Reserve winner. And if we had to look at, let's say, for example, fan votes, who's to say that sometimes the way that the NBA is garnering views is because of what the fans are seeing. And if the things that are going viral, the things that are being pushed in front of them is don't watch the Detroit Pistons. How are you helping the game? How are you helping the next generation? And then how are you being true to the craft, in some sense, covering the NBA? We continue to prove LeBron James right. We're continuing to prove Kevin Durant correct. Y'all let me know what y'all think.